Number 10 would be the Tine world from A Fire Upon the Deep. Now this planet is within the slow zone of A Fire Upon the Deep, meaning that there's no such thing as faster than light travel. So once you come here, there's really no way to get anywhere else besides being cryo-freezed. The sole inhabitants, the only ones that are intelligent, are a dog-like species that exists with pack minds, meaning that there is each individual is composed of a pack of dogs that function as like a neural network where the sounds that each dog makes are in this like high-pitched frequency that they're able to like instantaneously react to. They're also in this like medieval stage in their development. So if you come here, it's a terrible place to vacation because you'll get eaten by dogs. And number 9 is Mars from Cat Country. Now, Cat Country is a Chinese science fiction novel written by Lao She. We find a planet populated by intelligent cat people. So they look like cats, but they are bipedal, and their entire civilization is just a mess. It's a terrible mess, and they're about to collapse. They're on the verge of collapse, and things are very terrible, and they're all addicted to this substance called reverie leaves. Now, if you were to crash on this planet with a weapon, if you had a gun of sorts, you'd be fine because they're all terrified. None of them want to die. Just shoot that thing in the air once, and you are safe. You are good to go for the rest of your stay here. But if you don't have a weapon, you were warned. So number 8 is the planet Gethen from Ursula K. Le Guin's The Left Hand of Darkness. Now, the Gethenians are interesting. So they actually stem from the same stock that humans do, and they have one key difference. They have no specific sex. They're androgynous by nature. Now, once a month, they go through this cycle called chemering, and what that means is that they take on the characteristics of a male or female physically, and they reproduce oftenly. Because of this, there are some key differences in society because nobody is male, nobody is female. They each sort of like swap these traits on a whim, and none of them choose what they want to be. So like every month you might be a woman or you might be a man, but otherwise throughout the rest of your time you're purely androgynous. We find some interesting effects with this. So if you were to crash on this planet, you'd find that there is no war, which is great. No war, don't have to worry about war. That's amazing, right? But there are still certain atrocities. Without spoiling the book, there are some serious atrocities that occur here that to be an alien on this planet would be not a good idea. I'm just letting you know for your summer vacation, you may not want to go to Gethen. It's also very cold there. It's very icy just all year round. And number 7 is Prox 4 from the book Proxima by Stephen Baxter. So Proxima 4 is a tidally locked planet, meaning that half of it is in eternal day and the other half is in eternal night. And whoa, there's a big full moon over there. That's pretty awesome. I should have taken a shot of that, but I didn't. Maybe I will. Maybe you're seeing it right now. Prox 4 is tidally locked. You got day on one side, you got night on the other side. You don't want to go to the night side. It's just a hellscape of just flat ice, sort of like you'd imagine the Europa to be. So they find life for the first time in the universe on this planet, but that life is like these weird, almost like spider or crab-like creatures with, I believe they have 4 legs. They're tiny and they construct things. I believe they call them constructors or builders, and they don't even give any sort of acknowledgement to the humans. They just kind of keep doing what they're doing. No one knows if they're intelligent or anything. So if you were to crash here, it'd be extremely boring. Now the next planet is Lusitania from Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card. And Speaker for the Dead is the sequel to Ender's Game that is nothing like Ender's Game. Lusitania is also another instance of discovering life for the first time. The second time in this case. The first time was the buggers, which were the ones that came and attacked the Earth, and it was this big old war and everything. Don't want to spoil that, but they find these creatures that they nickname the piggies because they're adorable little things. They look like little tiny piglets. And the scientists who are checking out these guys, they find that they're capable of speech, so they actually start talking to them, and it's this hugely exciting thing. The whole galaxy is super into this, until one of them decides to murder one of the scientists and mutilate their corpse, and then spread their mangled body in the ground and plant a tree using it. And they do this because they like the scientists. It was like a show of respect. So there's obviously this like disconnect. I would not recommend going to this planet because you'd get murdered and turned into a tree. The next one is the Other Earth from Starmaker. Now, Starmaker has to do with a person who's having this sort of spiritual journey where his consciousness is shot out into space and he experiences all of life in the known universe, one after another, but it starts with things that are similar to us. And so the most similar planet to us, the most similar people to humans are on this place that is nicknamed the Other Earth. Now, they have some key differences to their physiology. They're very different. I believe that they actually exist based on somatosensory organs. So they have like smell and taste. Their entire society is based on smell and taste as opposed to sight and hearing. But somehow they've found themselves in the sort of same trap that we have. They make all the same mistakes. It's just within their nature and it's within our nature. It's this commonality. So I wouldn't recommend going to this place unless you like being trapped in a forced virtual reality where you're fed through a tube for hundreds of millions of years. All right, next we have Solaris by Stanislaw with the planet called Solaris. There is a strange ocean on this planet that is actually a single-celled organism. And they find out, yes, it is alive, but is it intelligent? So this entire novel, they're trying to communicate with this thing. So I really wouldn't recommend going here unless you're going to be staying on the space station that orbits Solaris. Because if you go down onto the surface, you'll find that it's just like liquid, essentially, with these like strange, like simulacra wax sculptures that come out of the water, out of the living water, sometimes as tall as skyscrapers, and sometimes they look like places that you know, places that only you know, which is pretty creepy. But even if you're on that space station, that cramped-ass space station, this thing is also listening to your thoughts at night and sending other simulacra of dead people who you miss, your loved ones. So it's sending back dead people that you miss to visit you each and every night, constantly, until you go mad. Maybe it would be kind of nice. Alrighty, so next we have Kern's World from Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Kern's World is a curious little planet because it's actually full of life created by humanity, created by a scientist named Kern. Wouldn't you know? This planet is stocked full of animals that have been infected with a virus that accelerates their evolutionary habits. And so you find that it was initially composed specifically for apes to try and create some like analogous species to humans. But that doesn't work. Instead, the spiders are the first ones to be infected by this. So you have these giant, hyper-intelligent spiders that have killed all the other animals that were populated on this planet except for other insects, which also have been infected, such as like ants. So you have colonies of hyper-intelligent ants that function as hive consciousnesses, so they function as one entity that seek only to expand and kill. So I would not recommend going to this planet because it'd be terrible. You get eaten by ants and spiders. It's no fun. So number 2, this is the only exception. We're not solely doing sci-fi here. I'm sorry, I lied to you guys. So number 2 is Scadrial from Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, because I gotta pull in those Sanderson readers. So Mistborn is about a planet called Scadrial, where it's misty and ashy all the time. But the most important thing here is that there is like an intense separation between like the upper and lower classes. Like 90% of the population are known as Ska, who are essentially slaves and who go through this horrible existence. Their lives are seen as just like nothing. People are killed for nothing. And it's terrible. It's terrible. So if you were to come here during the reign of the Lord Ruler, you'd have an awful time. It's similar to Earth in many ways, but I'd recommend you just stay home, even if it's really cold during the winter, or if you're trying to escape the heat. I'd say just stay home. Don't go to Scadrial. Even if you do happen to survive past the Lord Ruler's reign, then you have the apocalypse to contend with, and no one wants that. All right, and number one, well, before we get to this, how about an honorable mention? Any of the planets featured in my debut novel, Lethal Circuit, which is a cyberpunk space opera that features anti-gravity racing. So yeah, okay, shameless plug there. But yeah, number one is going to be Arrakis from Dune. Now, Dune's awesome. Dune's great. I'm sure if you've seen the movie, read the books, it's so cool. It's so cool, right? But imagine actually living in this place. It would suck. It'd be terrible. You have no water. It's hot all the time. You got to wear these like gross ass suits that you got to piss in constantly. It's no fun. So yeah, Dune, wouldn't want to live there. Love seeing it from a distance. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't mess up the Earth. It's all we got.